Let's go. All right, YouTube, what is up? We are back with another video. We just finished up some lunch. We had like 3/4 to a pound-ish of ground elk, ground venison. I kind of just get like 2 pounds of each, throw them all in, glob them up, cook them together, and then eat them together, cook with a lot of butter, so that's not too gamey. And I think the elk, I like the taste of the elk better than the taste of venison, so like combining those two tastes is really, really nice. Had a little slice of sourdough with it, handful of blueberries, and we are ready to rock and roll. Today, we are gonna go warm up in my weight room in my apartment right now, right before BP. All I'm gonna do is hit some hangs, some butcher stretch, and just some hip movements, just so I'm feeling pretty warmed up and the shoulders are opened up. So when we get the snatches later today, we are ready to roll and I don't have to waste some time warming up and sitting there in the gym. I feel like a lot of times when I compile, I have to do everything in one session at one time. I get my sessions just kind of drag out, gets kind of long, and I just don't give the intensity to the weights, or worse, I'm not able to talk to the camera because I'm feeling like I'm stuck in the gym for 2 hours warming up and doing all that bullshit. So I really try to touch it throughout the day. So we're going to go rip that. Then we got to run to BP with Woodside. We're going to rip some BP. We got nationals this weekend, so we leave for that on Friday in South Dakota and got to be dialed and ready to go. The thumb is still pretty pissed off at me. We had a SOS charity tournament this past weekend that we won, but thumb was not feeling great. I had to adjust my grip. Typically, I do a little bit of an overlap grip right here, but it was crushing the thumb too much. So we went straight baseball, baby, this past weekend and just sat there and pushed the ball the entire weekend. The results were good. The swing was solid. It just was kind of pissing me off that the thumb was painful and I had to switch up my swing for that. So hopefully this week it feels much better when we go into nationals and we're ready to roll. And especially for Olympic lifts, I still like getting that hook grip. It's a little bit better, but that's pretty much all the movement I got compared to like obviously being able to like come all the way around in that. But we're hitting 100 moves every other hour, just being able to squish that in there. Feels pretty bony, feels pretty pissed off at me, but we're gonna push through and we're gonna make it work. After BP, we got some snatches and squats, and I'm sure we'll yap about something important then. So without further ado, let's get after it. Let's go. All right, YouTube just finished up BP. They got some soccer going here, but we are gonna be in the dungeon side of things, ripping some snatches, some jumps, some squats today. We got our post to BP fuel here, 30 grams of protein straight to the dome. If you guys haven't tried out these little Greek yogurt drinks, absolutely fire. And then we got the good old staple in the applesauce, and we're gonna finish up with some 3 milligram Zins here. Should be a pretty electric day. We got some more tempo snatches. Let's get after it, let's go. So the thumb held up pretty good in BP. This weekend it was, I did those cleans and pulls with Vaughn the day before, and I couldn't even move my thumb around the bat. It was an absolute shit show. Switched to like a regular grip instead of doing that double overlap grip. It was driving me insane. But we were able to get back to the overlap grip today. Thumb felt a little bit better. We're gonna see how it feels on these snatches. Hopefully it feels better than last week on these snatches. With these, we got some seated broad jumps off the low box we're gonna be ripping. I think we have 5 sets of 1 snatches at 215 pounds, so less sets and reps today with a little bit more weight, still ripping those tempos. And let's progress these. Let's get after it. Let's go. Ooh. Fuck, dude. Then we got some low box here, seated broad jumps. These are feeling pretty poppy. We got 3 jumps left to rip here. Let's go. Oh yeah, let's go. Coming out of that squatted start makes me feel poppy. I can ride that heel well as well, too, would say. Let's get our second set here. Oh, let's go. We're dominating. Only reason we are hiding the quads and the sweatpants are staying on is because every time I do these tempo snatches without them, my shins look like they went through World War III. So we're gonna be soft today. Keep them on, hide the quads until we get the squats. Last jump here. Let's get a PR here. Oh, right at it. That was a good little series. Let's hit our single leg broads here. All right, since we don't have a ton of room to do our bounce outside, we're just gonna do in place, 5 in a row for height, hopping off that foot, getting a little bit more poppy. Let's go. Ooh. Let's get to some snatches. All right, we got our working sets here at 215. We got 5 sets of 1, which is definitely gonna be the most reps I've ever done at 215 pounds. So should be a grinder, but should be 5 clean and crispy reps. If we get that, it'll feel pretty good. Thumb is a little beat up once we started to get heavier, but it felt much better in the warm-ups than it did the week prior. So we're making a little bit of progress, but it's not feeling great with catching that heavy weight on the thumb. I was asked a question before we get started here with these 5 sets. If I've ever learned anything off Instagram, or if like short form media is kind of pointless and like you don't learn a ton, like is there anything that has actually changed my philosophy from social media, from Instagram? And I really do think the lowest IQ people in the world are the people that are saying you can't learn from social media, you can't learn from short form content. Now, you can learn from the back of a fucking cereal box if you're paying enough attention. I think so many people get like caught up in the fact that it's like cringe to learn from social media and like somebody might frown upon it, but to say there's not knowledge there is so stupid. And the only person that loses out on that is the person that's against social media. I just had so many coaches when I was growing up just shitting on social media, talking about how you never learn anything there, you'll never be a professional coach if you post on there, like all this bullshit. And I've learned so much from social media. Again, there's different levels of depth, and like learning from somebody in person, interning, taking somebody's course, running somebody's program is obviously going to be another level of depth compared to the social media aspect of it. But so many times social media has made a connection or has got me interested in a rabbit hole, and from that interest I dive deeper into that rabbit hole, and from that rabbit hole I find somebody new and I dive deeper into that rabbit hole. And I kind of look at it as like the gateway drug to information if you use it the right way. Obviously, if the only information you get is from social media, is from Instagram, you're gonna get a very surface level view of everything, and you're gonna be one of those cooks with like 1,000 ingredients and 1,000 tools in your toolbox without any knowledge on how to use any of them. But if you use them in a way of like discovering a new tool and then spending time to actually master and learn that new tool, or see if that new tool is useful to you at all, it's a very powerful way to learn information very quickly. You have the best coaches in the world for the first time ever at the touch of your fingertips. The best coaches in the world. You can reach all of them through a comment, through a DM, through any of their posts. Even if you can't talk to them, you can hear and listen to what they're saying. And that's the first time in human history we have had access to that. And because of our pride and because it looks silly, I think a lot of coaches write that off, and it's so stupid. My entire dive deep into like movement variability and movement options and the ecological approach started because Stu Bourne showed me the Instagram page of Sean Mishka and Michael Zweifel, and that got me super interested. So then I went to Sean Mishka's movement meetups, met Tyler Yerby and Sean Mishka and a bunch of those coaches, followed them, continued to learn who they liked and who they talked about, and they led me to like Rafe Kelly. I got Rafe Kelly on the podcast. Rafe Kelly led me to DJ Murakami, and it just was like a cascade of rabbit holes because I was paying attention to the things I was interested in and actually diving deeper into the stuff that I was interested in, which I think is a big piece. Again, I don't think you can learn everything off Instagram short form content, but if you use it as the piece of candy that gets you interested and you're like, okay, I want that person on my podcast, or I want to dive deep into what that person's doing, or I want to run that person's program, or I want to take that person's course, I think it's an amazing tool to introduce you to things that you never would have been introduced to in the echo chamber that has traditionally been the coaching tree of you have one coaching mentor, you learn everything from them, and then you just kind of parrot everything that they say and told you to do. And I'm saying this to somebody that was kind of stuck in that rabbit hole. I was doing everything that I was taught from coaches prior to me or in the programs I had learned. And without social media, I would probably still be running those programs because I would never be introduced to anything more, just because you're stuck in one location. I think that's the power of the internet, obviously, is that you're not stuck to the information around you. You have information from around the world at the touch of your fingertips, and I think you should use that to your benefit. All right, let's get after this. Let's go. Ooh. Let's go. All right, third set here, let's rip. Ah! Fuck. Biasing my snatches with the broad jumps might not have been the move because that was like a full snatch broad jump. I jumped like 4 feet fucking forward. I don't really know how to get the hips through on that slow-mo when I accelerate any other way, so we're gonna try and stay a little bit more vertical, but try not to think about it at this 215 or I'm not gonna get it. So let's rip this here. Better. All right, 2 more clean ones, then we get the squats. Let's go. Oh, that was clean. Let's fucking go. Let's make this last set as crispy as that last rep. Let's fucking go. Oh yeah. Ooh, almost died. That's pretty sickening to rip that for 5. To rip 215 for 5 there. Snatch is coming along. Thumb didn't absolutely want to kill me today. Let's rip these squats before we go. All right, promise I wasn't hiding the physique. I was just a little bitch about those shins. We are naked and ready to squat. 365 to 385 is what we got today for 3 sets of 3. Let's see how the legs are feeling and rip. Let's go. All right, first working set here, 365 on the bar. Kind of sped through those warm-ups just so we can get to the right working sets and get out of here. It's almost 9 p.m. Want to be in bed by 10. So we're gonna grind through these 3 sets. I got the question asking about imposter syndrome. And truthfully, I don't think imposter syndrome goes away. I think if you listen to like even the highest level of performers, the true 1%ers of the 1%ers, they even talking about having that imposter syndrome. And those are people that absolutely have no affordance to have that imposter syndrome. They have proven everything. They're Super Bowl champs. They are multimillionaires. They are CEOs of massive companies, and they still have that imposter syndrome. I think it's perfectly natural for you as a strength coach to have imposter syndrome. And I think that imposter syndrome is just telling you all the little things that you are doing a little bit wrong in life. And obviously your brain can get hijacked by that, and the anxieties can run through the roof. But if you balance out just weaponizing that little bit of anxiety, that little bit of, okay, I'm not doing everything absolutely perfectly, pay attention to that so that you can fix those things, not let those things take over, not let those things dictate your life and your actions to where you're never doing anything because you're scared because of those anxieties, but to where you're bettering the things that you have anxieties about. Because I think that's a reason that anxiety is there, is your brain actually computing the fact that you might actually not be enough so that you actually go pursue to be something more. I think that's just human nature. But balancing that out with just enough faith in yourself to realize you were put here with a specific skill set at a specific time in a specific region to go do something specific, to go do something on this planet, and have enough faith in yourself and the reason that you're put here to go do that so that this imposter syndrome doesn't take over. You, the person listening to this camera, was put here to do something. You were given skill sets nobody else was given. You were given contact with people that nobody else was given contact to affect their lives in a positive way. And if you just do the thing you were put here to do to the best of your ability, while bettering some of the things that you're not doing the best at in life or you're just not the best at, you'll live a really successful life, and a lot of that noise in your head will just start to quiet. It never fully goes away, but when you actually stand where your feet are and do what you're supposed to do where your hands are and work on what you're supposed to work on, the brain goes quiet. And if that brain's not going quiet, there's probably a reason to why that brain's not going quiet. I'm not talking clinically, like psychology-wise, seeing a therapist, any of that. I'm just saying pay attention to those voices and let it direct your life and let it take you to do what you were actually put here to do. And when you have those feelings of, oh, maybe I'm not enough, maybe I'm not actually where I'm supposed to be, maybe you're not, and maybe that's the reason that those voices are there, and maybe you should pay attention to that. Again, while balancing that all with the faith that you were put here to do something specific that nobody else in the world can do. And that doesn't need to be being a millionaire or being the #1 athlete in the world. And for some egos, that's too much to handle. But that pursuit of something you weren't put here to do is going to continue those voices in your head until you find where you're supposed to be, where your feet are supposed to be, and working on the things you're supposed to work on with the people you're supposed to work on them with. And once that happens, life gets a lot quieter and simple becomes happy. So let's get this first set. Let's go. Let's go. All right, second set here. 385 on the bar. Let's rip this for 2 sets. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! Folded over a little bit on that last set. Back was feeling that. Let's dial in for this last set here of 3. Let's rip. Let's go. I'm gonna finish off with some reverse hypers. Not gonna record those because I have no interest in recording those. We've got 3 sets of 12 of those before we go. I appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood.